Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're joined here in the studio by Dr. Alaa Khalifa, the international tourism destinational marketing expert, to shed more light on tonight's topic. Dr. Khalifa, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, sir. Dr. Khalifa, now everybody was focusing on the World Youth Forum that took place last week, and we're now looking at some of the repercussions and some of the outcomes that we felt the forum has achieved. And one of the main things, aside from all the main issues and topics being discussed at the forum, was the tourism factor. Now, tourism is one of the most integral sectors here in Egypt, and such a forum really caught all the light and the attention from all around the world to a great city such as Sharm el-Sheikh, one of the many great cities we have in the governorate. How much do you feel this international forum was a big play and a big promotional tool for the tourism sector?
First of all, the forum has been a representation of Egypt's soft strengths. And this is the fourth edition for the forum. The first three editions have been adopted by the UN as official editions. On the fourth edition, we have been back to the same track of buzzing the world again, one more time. When we do destination marketing campaigns, one of the main things that we start with is the awareness, engagement, and then we go after that for the last stage, for the conversion. So what this forum is creating right now is creating what we want, the awareness of that Egypt is back on track again, that Egypt is developing very rapidly, Egypt is living a sustainable development. So by doing such a forum and many other conferences, international conferences, we are able to create that buzz. With this buzz, it's the beginning of spreading out the name of Egypt all over the news one more time. Holding a World Youth Forum, bringing youth from different countries around the world, from 170 countries around the world, it's definitely a boost to the image of Egypt. And destination marketing basically depends on how boosting images of different countries around the world. Egypt is, again, expressing itself, saying that I'm here, I'm doing an amazing international conference for youth all over the world, and I am spreading very positive news. I'm supporting peace, I'm supporting creativity, I'm supporting sustainable development, and these are the main themes and topics. When these positive news spread out in different regions around the world, it creates that kind of affinity that people think, whoa, Egypt, comes out of Egypt. When this younger generation get to know to Egypt, they get to go to Sharm el-Sheikh, see the beauty of the country, see how it has all what it has to offer right now, then they would always think this is the country. They always build up this kind of impression and then tell their other generations and their counterparts what kind of experiences that they lived in Egypt. So all in all, this kind of conference event that it's totally sponsored by the Egyptian government and the president himself is sending a very powerful message, a powerful marketing message to tell the rest of the world that we are here, that we are taking care of the youth, that we are engaging them with decision makers, that we are a developing country, is a pioneering in Africa now as the second largest economy in Africa. We are supporting sustainable development as per United Nations vision, and we are here ready to receive you back again post-COVID. So it's all positive messages, and I'm so glad, I'm so thrilled that this is like a successful event. And we have another event upcoming in November, and very soon actually the other event the COP17, which is the
27.
climate event, 27, which is the amazing climate event, which going to be attended by so many delegates from all over the world. It's a UN conference. We are becoming a stage, an African stage for international conferences. This is a very important segment that we need to invade in, that we need to be pioneering, and this is enhancing the image of Egypt, and it's reflected on the destination marketing of our destination. It's helping out our image, our marketing message that we are spreading around the world. When we get positive news coming out of here, then people will think this is a stable region, this is a good place to visit. Egypt right now was part of on the bucket list. Now we need to do it in the to-do list.
Yes.
This is what we want out of all of these different events.
Well, Doctor, you've mentioned a key word which is just not promoting the tourism sector as a sector, but also the post-COVID era. Now, as a destinational marketing expert, do you feel that in order to promote the destination and the sector in Egypt in specific, does it have a different strategy now that everyone is focusing on the pandemic and the post-pandemic and the way of life after the pandemic? Does it change the tools, the angles of how you market or alter the marketing strategy that you do?
There is a momentum at the moment. And this momentum comes out with the beginning of the pandemic and with the variants that are hitting the pandemic and with countries opening and closing, with tourism industry being falling from 1.4 billion travelers to nearly 10% of that amount, with companies opening and closing, with companies they go out bankrupted because of the pandemic. There is a momentum right now of revival. Of all of these countries are trying reviving or reshaping their policies again, of either opening economies or opening for tourism again, and this is, I call it the momentum for us. This is the right thing for us to get in, because now market shares, especially for outbound travelers, is reshaping all over the world. Now, countries who used to get a specific market share from a specific destinations, from a specific outbound destinations, are not getting that same market share anymore, either because they are locked down or because they have a problem or because they've been badly affected by the pandemic. So now trends have changed. Destination choice have changed. There are countries who became trending more than others. That is the reason why I'm calling this is the right momentum. Why? Because as a country, we never shut down. Really, we never shut down. I mean, since last July, last year, when we opened for tourism, we did not make such a very restrictive measures on arrival, on staying, on quarantine, and all of this. And we open up cautiously for tourism, and we welcome travelers from all over the world, and we even facilitated their entry procedures. We applied all the hygienic different things around touristic establishments all over the country, which put us among the destinations that our travelers are able to come and visit with ease. And that was the key word, ease. In the pandemic, when you allow people to come in and do things with ease, that's where people are more likely to come to visit you. This is the reason why we had this influx of travelers in the last few months, despite many different things that were happening around the world. Also, one of the things that we have to think is that because of this market share is reshaping, every country right now is doubling up their budget, their marketing budget, in order to reach as many people as they can, in order to present a new marketing message. They say, hey, we open again. We are open again for international tourism, and we want you back. This is what we have to offer. But what we did that earlier than them. So now there are, if you see a shift from different countries. People are coming back to Egypt from the rest of Europe in the time when Europe was all locked down, and it was very restrictive to get there, even to fly out to any of these countries, or you need to be in quarantine for a specific number of days. Egypt and other countries in the region, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and Dubai jumped from 15 million people to 22 million people. Why? Forging this co-marketing agreements helps out spreading out your marketing message and marketing your destination to the right level. This is my approach.
Yeah, well, who pays then for these?
Destination marketing organization, the ministry, whomever, the destination marketing organization, in this case, Egyptian Tourism Authority. We used to do this in the past, by the way. And then we stopped, and then we brought one big partner, and then we started to push it anyway. I don't want to go into the details, but I want to tell you something, that what we are doing right now is the right track. It is the right track. Forging, putting down events, pushing these different conferences, meetings, exhibitions all over the country, building facilities for that. In the new administrative capital, we have a whole new city that are dedicated to exhibitions, that are dedicated to conferences. We have world-class infrastructure. It's about time that we use this infrastructure, and we are doing it right now in Sharm el-Sheikh and in the new administrative capital and in Cairo and in other areas of Egypt. We are spreading out, and we are actually utilizing these things in order to present a very civilized image for Egypt, that it strengthens the soft what I call soft power of the country. This is how countries are pushing their image through happiness. And this is what we are doing right now. We're spreading a happy face, happiness. We are bringing positive news from the country. And remember this, happy traveler always go to happy countries. And this is what we want. Good news is always good news. We will get good news from our end, and good news about our conferences, our meetings, exhibitions. We're doing IDEX. We did it one time, second time IDEX. 48 countries came and contributed around the world. We're talking about an industry that contributes to $2 trillion US dollar every year, and we are having that fraction of this industry. We want to make our market share much bigger. And we have the right momentum right now. That's the momentum I was telling you about. And we are going to go and continue in this road in order to get back our market share and exceed it as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the happy travelers are definitely coming to the happy place here in Egypt, and reports are saying that the Egyptian tourism will reach the pre-COVID-19 levels by the fall of 2022. Now, there are a few things I want to ask you, but first off, we'll talk about the different kinds of tourism. And now Egypt has its own beach tourism, cultural tourism, medical, religious tourism, all these sorts of kinds of tourism. Now, the cultural one seems to be one of the most one of the most prominent, even over the past few years.
Attractive and lucrative.
Yes, and I mean, you've mentioned the Mummies parade, also the one that took place for the Way of the Sphinx. Many museums being opened at different governorates, places that we're not used to, that are known for beach tourism, are now having their own museums. And you told me about an event that is also going to be taking place around the pyramids. Can you shed more light on this kind of tourism and these services?
One of the main things that keep tourists coming back is the diversity of tourist products in one destination. So it's important that you surround your tourist, your visitor, with a lot of touristic products, daily activities, daily excursions, things to do, culinary tourism, presenting them with all kind of activities, whether from taste, from food testing, from marine trips, from other things. It's important that you present this as a list of different activities that our travelers can do. This enhances the positioning of the destination. So if you have people traveling straight to Sharm, you need to provide a lot of different activities around Sharm and in a proximity from around Sharm, because people don't want to go and just stay the whole week on a beach. They want to go out, they want to try the beach one time, twice, but then they want to go out. They want to go and try markets at nights. They want to meet local people. They want to go to local markets. They want to go to bazaars. They want to try the food in restaurants. It's a whole system of getting an experience. Underline all of this with an experience. So basically what we do is that we are creating an experience. Same thing when we are forging a big events, such as the Mummy Parade, such as the opening of the Avenue of Sphinx. This is drawing attention to us and also creates what we call a traveler's experience. I would expect that in the upcoming this year and next year and the year after is that we will be taking that as a trend, making events, whether it's a musical events or a youth travel events or any other kind of events, that we will be taking this as the trend, as a magnet to attract more travelers to us. Telling you about this, by the end of the year, there will be a big event. We're still preparing for it by the pyramids. World-class, top-class singers and talents will come from all over the world and be singing underneath the pyramids. And we are actually pushing this through our channels right now. And this is gonna have a lot of buzz, big buzz about the image, the beautiful image, remind people that this destination is alive. It's a world series known as the Seven Wonders, and they will start with Egypt, who is the pyramids, and then we'll go for Petra, and then we'll go for Taj Mahal, and then we'll go to the Colosseum. So every world monument that are famous, world-class monument that are famous, there will be a musical, edit. And the organizers of this World Seven Wonders have chosen the pyramids to be number one, the first monument where they start with the big, musical. And I think if we encourage this kind of events, we will be gaining a lot of popularity. We'll be gaining people attention to come back to Egypt, and this again takes us to the momentum that I mentioned in my first talk with you, that it is our opportunity to regain Egypt's market share again from outbound travel.
Yes. Dr. Khalifa, now all this work needs a lot of money. Now, Egypt has, the investments in the tourism and antiquities sector is expected to reach 8.5 billion Egyptian pounds for this year, as opposed to 5.2 billion last year. Now, you spoke about setting up these and holding these events and conferences, also the marketing aspect of it, and also
creating the experiences,
and creating the experience
with all the different
as well,
activities and excursions. Yes,
all these services. and also in terms of supporting the
co-marketing contracts,
the contracts, the agencies, the companies,
engaging stakeholders from different industry.
Who gets the biggest share, or who needs the most money in all of these things? Is it the marketing, the facilitating, the services, the events? How does it work?
Can I tell you something? Let me rephrase your question in a different way. Who's paying for this? Right?
Yes.
And what will cost us more? Well, if you go back to what I told you before, it's a marketing mix. Means it's a budget that has to be distributed in each channel. And the best way is to distribute your budget into various channels and then check the analytics. If the analytics that comes out from each of these channels is promising, focus your budget in that promising channel more than any other channels. So that's what we call a marketing mix. Push it in every channel and then check out the results, the KPI, if it has the right results from a specific channel, that keep doing on that channel. This is an approach that's about allocating the budget. So we don't give too much budget to this or too much budget to that. It's, as I said, put it all through different channels, cautiously find out which one is making the right return, and then focus your budget on that one. Okay? Now, going back to the question about who's paying for that. When you do a marketing campaign, whether it's a country to enhance its brand, whether it's a factory, whether it's an industry, whether it's even a shop, when you do a marketing effort, you have to plan well to put out number of, or like a specific budget for your marketing, 3 to 5% from your budget. So if you have a budget, if tourism is bringing you a 10 billion US dollar, all what I'm asking you, just put 1% out of that. Put it back into marketing. 2%, put it back into marketing. There are countries that are putting back 5% back into marketing again from 30 or 40 billion US dollar budget. All I'm asking, if you mentioned 8.5 billion US Egyptian pounds, just give me 1 billion, $60 million. Let's do the marketing with that amount. Maybe it's nearly, we're talking about what, 7% out of this. Let's do it. That's the amount. Nothing will be promoted without putting it through a proper marketing channel. If we are doing the Holy Route for the Holy Family right now, and we want to have this as advertised as a holy pilgrimage routing, then we need to do the proper marketing for it. And we cannot just fix it, put the infrastructure, put everything without creating the right stories, without creating the right content, without putting the right marketing budget. 50 to 75 million dollars in total, divided on 12 months of the year. I would say it would be an adequate marketing budget to promote a destination, promote cities separately, such as Luxor, Aswan, Hurghada, Sharm el-Sheikh. This is the reason why we are creating a special brand for each city right now. If you go to Luxor, it has its own brand. If you go to Sharm el-Sheikh, we need to market all these entities separately, and we need to allocate an adequate budget, and not only put this budget, but create the content, check the analytics, put it in the right distribution channels, optimize the marketing campaign every now and then, and go for the marketing mix that I told you about. This way we will have the right return, and its return is going to come. No one ever put money into the marketing with scientific methods and check analytics and KPIs without having a proper return.
Okay, one final question, because we're running out of time in 15 seconds now. Out of all these channels, obviously we're in the time and age of social media now. Which is the most, after all the analytics and analyzing all the results, which is the most efficient channel? Is it an actual event, being such as the World Youth Forum, that's being followed and highlighted afterwards? Is it social media? Is it an exhibition or a pavilion at some sort of an international exhibition?
In our case, I think it's supporting developing events. That's one of the most active channels right now for us to spread out the marketing message. And secondly is creating quality content. The more we create quality content, the more we put it through distribution channels, like you're doing. You're in the media. You create content. If your content is appealing, people will react to it, they will engage, and then they will convert after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Khalifa has mentioned, we are on the right path, and definitely a happy traveler would come to a happy place and enjoy a very happy experience. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Daily Debate. But before we go, I'd like to thank my very distinguished guest, Dr. Alaa Khalifa, the international destinational tourism marketing expert. Dr. Khalifa, always a pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure was all.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on Nile International. I'm Henny Saif. Thank you for joining us.